talk about sushi. I mean, although he's going, I don't remember you, but it makes for a good story at least.
Right? All good. All good.
It's true, man. It's true. You can't remember something from 17 years ago, or can you?
I remember a lot. I do remember a lot. My memory, random access memory, man. It's just, I will think of something out of the blue, like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, I just think of shit. And I got these tour books I'm selling, the tour books, itinerary. He was asking if I had the one from System of a Down. I was like, it's probably here, because I have tour books. First of all, if you don't, Chris, if you don't know what a tour book is, a tour book is when they used to give, they'd create like a book, and it was a calendar, and it'd have like the city, date, the venue, everything that was in the area, just like, it's like something, a guidebook for you every day. And we used to make those up. And they were expensive, yeah. I bet when bands were making money, you could do that. So when Fear Factory was really on fire, we used to make these tour books. So I kept pretty much all of mine.
Wow,
and not all of them. I wish I'd kept some, but I have some. I have some starting in '97, all the way to 2001. And there's some classic tours. Some guy was here earlier. Fan came in and he goes, "It's like, do you have that one?" He was looking through the books, like, "Holy fuck, this is the first metal show I saw."
Oh shit! Nice.
And it was like, you're opening up for Slayer in Sacramento. And he had the book. He's like, this is the book. I was at this show. He's like, on the page. I was at this show. I'm like, he bought it. I autographed it. And it's like, I told him, I guarantee you, I am the only person that has one of these.
Right. That's cool, man. I love those stories like that here. So, Mark here with MA Entertainment at Headbangers Con with the one and only Burton C Bell.
And C stands for convention today.
Oh, there we go. We're getting loopy already with initials today, man. So
random access memory.
So here's the thing that you talk about the guy I saw you in '97 with Slayer.
Right.
My first time seeing you was at the Palace in Hollywood, opening for Iron Maiden.
That's right, Iron Maiden. That was their X Factor tour with Blaze Bayley.
Right.
And that wasn't the first time. No, that was the very first time I got to play the Palace, because I had loved the Palace. I lived in Fear Factory started in Hollywood. And, I moved to LA in '89, and the Palace back then was a great place to see shows. And it was like, it was kind of a dump.
Right.
But back then it was a kind of a dump. But that was the first time we played, and then I had the ability to finally headline the Palace, and that was like a dream come true. A lot of people like, I can't wait to headline the Whiskey. I'm like, yeah, Whiskey's okay, but headline for me to show to headline in LA was the Palace, and I finally got to do that. But that was your first time.
That was
really a non sequitur.
No, well, here's the thing: is like we walked in, and we were huge Maiden fans, but we're like, all right, Blaze, but it's still Maiden, and it's in 1,000-seater. I thought, no, Blaze did a good job, but we walked in, and you guys just started as we walked in, and we were like, holy fuck, all this double bass, what the fuck's going on? It was good. It was my first exposure to you guys, and we were like, man, this is insane.
We got a lot of fans on that tour, because it makes sense. Iron Maiden is very upbeat, not double bass, but it's like, really fast. And they did a great job on that tour. That was their very first club tour ever. To the United States.
It was smaller venues, and
we played. It was what was it called back then? It was called the Off Ramp back then, but now it's called the El Corazon in Seattle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We played that place with Iron Maiden. Nico McBrain's drum set took up the entire stage.
See, those are those things that it's funny. Our good friend Mike Papa Hoagie, he actually got to go up and sing "Heaven Can Wait" with him that night. He got pulled out of the crowd. Rhodey picks him. I'm like, me. He's like, nope. Not me, but he got to go up and sing that night. So
an embarrassing night on that tour. Well,
come on.
Many, but the first one I remember was in Salt Lake City, and we were playing the Salt Air place, and we had just gotten off a tour with Megadeth, so it was '95. We had just gotten off tour with Megadeth. Maybe it was early '96, because Megadeth was '95. But either way, we just got off tour with Megadeth, and a couple of guys from Maiden were standing on stage, like the bass player, what's his name? Steve Harris and Nico and Dave Murray was there. And I saw him. I was like, all right. So I always give a shout out to the band like before the last song. And I was like, everyone give it up for Megadeth. And I was just like, because I was so used to touring. And I looked over and fucking Steve Harris and Dave were just laughing their ass off at me. I'm like, fuck.
Oops.
Well, you know.
Rookie.
I was on tour mode, man. I'm a machine, random access memory.
There we go again. RAM, random access memory. That's got nothing to do with. Well, it does have something to do with computers.
It's everything about computers.
Everything is that. Well, Fear Factory was a very kind of futuristic band.
Absolutely.
And now you hear how music's made and produced. You guys are kind of the forefathers of some of that stuff in a way.
We took it to another level for sure. I mean, I would say that when it comes to metal bands, we embraced it. I mean, we always had, we were always into using computers on keyboards and sampling and, triggering. We were always into that. That was part of what we wanted to do because Fear Factory wasn't just a metal band. I felt we were more than that. I felt because we love bands like Ministry or Young Gods or Godflesh. But to Napalm Death, and but it was even more than that. So that's what we wanted to incorporate, and so we embraced it. And so we were. I would say we're like one of the first metal bands to really like take that in.
I think you guys did. I think
What's funny is that being a futuristic band, the first time we actually started using actual like Pro Tools or digital software to record was Digimortal.
Oh wow, okay.
It was on tape before that.
That's wild. See, here's the thing: is that there's always I think music reaches a certain point where bands become a gateway to other forms of music, and I think when you guys came out in your era, there was a different scene going on with the alternative world, and then you guys were doing heavy stuff, which I think some of those younger fans, when they heard Fear Factory, came back more into metal and kind of worked their way back into thrash again.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If Fear Factory had no double bass, we'd be an alternative band.
Absolutely. I think Dino's guitar playing, he's a very melodic player in what he does.
Melodic, exactly. But what Dino did, though, he emulated he was following the drums. Right. So he took the guitars to the level of just like, this like a factory assembly line. There was a rhythm in that sound. There is in those sounds of a assembly line. There is a rhythm. There's a beauty to that. And there are songs that can be made. And Dino turned his guitar into a machine. He was the heavy-duty Scarifier. He turned it into the machine that was creating those sounds. But what he did was because he started doing melodies, and that was almost an accident because all of the first songs we started writing were just heavy songs. Right. It wasn't until the song "Big God" that we started writing that song. It was later on "Soul in the Machine." He was playing a part, and he started. We're both fans of Godflesh, first of all. That song is totally Godflesh, and. So I started to interpret Godflesh songs vocally my way, being a fan of Justin and everything like that. And so Justin had these like moaning parts, but I tried something else. I started like actually singing it. So Dino started playing out of the blue, just started playing this like like a Godflesh type of melody riff, and I just started singing. It's like not no words or anything like that. And Dino's like. What the fuck you doing? And I'm like, sorry, I wanted to. No, fucking, that's awesome. Do that, and that's when we started singing.
Those
like an accident. I was just trying something out, and it's like, what the fuck?
23, 25 years later, whatever it is, you're still here.
That idea was never intended. It just happened.
And there weren't heavy bands doing the singing thing so much then.
There was no template to it. There was no formula to it. There was no arrangement to it. I just started doing what I felt was passionate. And I wasn't doing it because I wasn't screaming because I had to. I was screaming because I'm fucking angry. I was screaming because I had to. And I don't even call it screaming. I call it like just very aggressive shouting. It's like, Michael Gira is one of my fans. Michael Gira is one of my influences, and he's from the Swans. Justin Broderick. For heavy people, that is. And so that's where it was an accident. Yeah. And so we were one of the first. Dude, I'm sorry. My non sequiturs are really horrible.
See that as I tell everybody, when we do interviews, I don't look at them as interviews. I don't want to ask you questions. I just want to talk and let you talk because I think you get better results. And so, Burton, tell me about the latest album. What are you up to? Now, let's just fucking talk and hang out, man.
That's what I like, a conversation.
You want to feel like you're being interviewed for something? No, come down, sit down, have a conversation with us, and let's talk. And
I get to drink.
Right, man. What are you drinking?
It's a Jack and a little bit of Sprite.
A little bit of Sprite.
They didn't have ginger beer or ginger ale, so I was like, okay, a little bit of Sprite.
So you're hanging out both days today?
Yep, I'm having a great time, man. This inaugural event, first of its kind. It's a genius idea. I want to see more cosplayers, actually.
Right?
Yeah, there was a group of Star Wars characters walking through, and, very short stormtrooper. And then there was the zombie dude.
Right.
There's some big characters, but I would like to see more cosplayers. I want to see someone dressed up as Rob Halford. Come on.
Oh, hey, he's bald. He can do it, man.
Let's have Bruce Dickinson in the early '80s.
Oh, nice.
Let's have exactly. Let's do some Black Sabbath from the '70s. That would be, if you're watching this, Comic-Con people, you can do the same thing at Headbangers Con. Get dressed up. There's vendors here. They're in the other hall. It's awesome. But instead of comic book artists, comic book characters, you're hanging out with metalheads.
Dressed as somebody's gonna do Kiss.
Kiss.
Right.
Why isn't there any Kiss people here?
See, there we go. But see, you know what? I would dress as Eric Carr. He could be like Vinnie Vincent and.
Who would I be? I would do Tony Iommi from the early '80s.
Get the porn stash and everything.
Exactly. That's what I want to be.
Awesome, man. Dude, on that fun note, thanks for sitting with us, man. We appreciate you.
Hey, my pleasure.
Have fun, dude.